Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Hope you're all doing great, and welcome to this new middle of the day market updates on the crypto markets. We'll talk about everything you need to know, or at least I will try my best to talk about everything you need to know, including fundamentals, Bitcoin, XRP, and just in general some other altcoins as well. Even though at this point of time, just to introduce the market circumstances to all of you, and if you watch these videos, you already know this. But the market is very correlated, as you can see. Most altcoins right now are just following Bitcoin, and there are some exceptions to that rule. We just got some ETF potential staking news, for example. So Lido DAO is quite strong, and there's some other coins such as Layer and Alpaca that are quite uncorrelated as well. But those tend to be more difficult to trade, and just in general a bit more volatile. So most altcoins just move together with Bitcoin. So that's why we'll talk about Bitcoin, we'll talk about XRP, and some other altcoins that I think can actually deviate from Bitcoin. Because if the Bitcoin dominance is this high, trading altcoins with a high correlation that just follow Bitcoin is usually not a good idea. You can better just trade Bitcoin, and I'm speaking out of experience. But all right, so the U.S. market has opened 25 minutes ago, and talking about that is basically the most important thing we need to talk about. All right, because one of the main sources of the bearish pressure so far in the markets, regardless of what other people tell you, is the relentless sell-off in the traditional financial markets. All right, so basically since the 19th of February, so back then the price of Bitcoin was still at a beautiful level at 96,000, but since then you can see the S&P 500 has fallen down a huge amount. It is now at a strong support, and we've actually bounced from there since yesterday evening. But the big question is as well, can we actually see some sort of a recovery for the S&P 500, for the stock market? At some point of time, we will 100% see that. The question is well, is that right now or not? And the answer you will have to that question is also the answer that you will have to the question if Bitcoin will fall down lower. All right, because if you take a look at the other fundamentals, look, dollar strength index is still bearish, so that's relatively good. I would assume that the Coinbase Bitcoin price is still at a discount here, which is true, but that has actually decreased a fair bit, so that's relatively bullish, I'd say. But most of the fundamentals are fine for Bitcoin to do well. It's mostly just that traditional financial markets that's pushing it down. So I will also have to tell you what I think is most likely for the stock markets to do right here, and to talk about Bitcoin. And look, most of this bearish pressure, and the FIX, by the way, volatility index is also still very high. I've rarely seen an uptrend like this for the FIX. You can also see it's very rare historically. So it's definitely unpredictable, and just in general difficult to predict what the financial markets will do. But given the circumstances with the tariffs and my expectation of that, I do expect some more support from such a strong level as where we are at right now. Right, so that's around 556, 564. I expect this to bounce, and that's also going back to Bitcoin. Why I expect this, apart from some other technical indicators which we'll talked about this morning. That's why I expect this to be the bottom for Bitcoin, and that we can actually get some stability, and also a little bit later on some bullish momentum up to 84 and potentially 87,000. But that is also something I'll still keep you updated on. I mean, even though I think this is most likely, as I've shown you with this drawing, I also think it's quite likely we will retest the support. And I do not see any clear reason right now as to why we would see a pump, right? So some things do need to change, but like I said, given the three drive pattern, for example, given some major RSI divergences, in combination with my expectations of the development of the price of the stock markets, I think this level will hold. And then circling back to XRP, before we talk about some other altcoins, I think XRP is completely the same, all right? XRP is at this major support level right here between $2 and 2.15. By the way, as you can see, XRP is actually holding on better than Bitcoin. XRP at this point of time is actually still at the same support level as it was at the 9th of December. And that level for Bitcoin, if some of you still remember, was this level right here at 94,000. So that's a good thing for XRP. But it's the same thing. XRP is very correlated to Bitcoin. I expect Bitcoin to hold support, so that's why I expect XRP to hold support and eventually get some more bullish momentum as well. Now, before we talk about some other altcoins, because there are some altcoins that I want to talk about right now, I quickly wanted to give a shout out to Cicada Finance. They reached out to me. They have an amazing product which I wanted to introduce to you, and I think there's a lot of potential as well. They will launch their token, I think somewhere in March or April. That's uncertain yet, but they'll do a fair launch. That's what I like a lot. But outside of that, I think DeFi is still one of the industries in crypto that's actually holding up fairly well. DeFi coins are holding up well, and what Cicada Finance is building with their Cicada yield engine is infrastructure, DeFi infrastructure for projects that generate real yield, right? And that is something I like a lot. I like projects with real revenue, and what they built is the Cicada yield engine, which is a DeFi infrastructure project that actually allows users to provide liquidity and gain yield without giving away the access to the tokens they hold, and that also allows the protocols that actually use the Cicada yield engine to get benefits from that as well. So one of the projects that they have already enrolled in this is Miner Club, which actually allows you, by holding their token and using the Cicada yield engine, to gain real yield, real revenue, and real money, holding the token from their Bitcoin mining operations. So definitely a great project. I'll leave some links down in the description. Definitely follow them on X to learn more about the projects and their potential token launch down the line. But that's a quick shout out I wanted to give, and trust me, like it's they're actually building something that has real value, right? So I would definitely check it out. So talking about other altcoins, like I said, and or at least I had spoken about this on X earlier today, I think Bitcoin and XRP are still the main assets to trade. However, I do actually think that Ethereum is at a level where it becomes interesting as well. I personally have a buy limit for Ethereum at 1650, but the level it's at right now is very strong as well, and it might be worth to buy something here if you want to accumulate Ethereum for the long term still. So that's also one of those tokens. And then outside of that, it becomes pretty grim. Litecoin was holding up fairly well. It's no longer holding up fairly well. Solana was pretty strong as well back at the start of the year. It's no longer that strong either, even though it is at a very strong support level. And like I said, there's these kind of more difficult coins to trade, such as Super Rare, such as Auction, such as Arkham, which you can trade and you can actually make money on them. And I would recommend you to actually dive into them a bit more, but be careful, right? Because even though there is money to be made, it remains a hyper-competitive market, and it remains difficult. But those are my thoughts. That's sort of thing you need to know for now. If you do have any questions, let me know down in the comments. For now, thank you for watching. Take care, and bye.